Hi friends, my name is Atul Ahmed, and in this particular video I will show you how to use the Foreach loop containers item enumerator. In Foreach loop container we have different kinds of enumerator like file enumerator, edu enumerator, and similarly we have an item enumerator as well. However, the use of the item enumerator is very rare, so but still there can be some situation where we can use the item enumerator. One scenario that I can think of is suppose we don't have any database system on our machine and there are some values on which we want to loop through on all those kind of values. For example, we have some values like Jan, Feb and March. If you want to loop through all these kind of values, then in that particular case we can use the Foreach loop containers item enumerator. So we can put our own these kind of static values inside the Foreach loop container, and the Foreach loop container will loop through all these kind of values. So let's see how we can do that. In this particular case I will create around 6 folders at this particular location, and the folder names will be something like the current year 2017 Jan, and another folder will be 2017 Feb, March, April. So for first 6 months I will create the folders for from January to June. So we will see how we can do that using the item enumerator. So instead of the values like Jan, Feb, March, maybe you can put someone's name, maybe city name, or some some fruits names, and you can loop through all those kinds of things in case if you don't want to get the values from the SQL server. So let's see how we can do that. So first of all, as we are going to create the folders dynamically, so of course we need to create some SSIS variables that can hold the values for a particular object. So the first variable that we need to create is the parent folder path. So it is the parent folder path where we are going to put the our subfolders. For example, I'm going to create the subfolders at this particular location, C files. So change the data type to string and give the location C files. Alright, then name the second SSIS variable as folder path. It will be the actual folder which will be created at the during runtime. So let's name it as C files, and maybe something else. You can put any value here because it doesn't matter what you write here, because the value of the folder path will be overwritten by the SSIS package during the runtime. And then create a third variable of month. So this will be the variable which is going to acquire the new value every time the loop will iterate. So maybe we can put it Jan, but it doesn't matter as well, Jan 1, because the it will be overwritten by the dynamic values at runtime. Alright, so now let's drag and drop the Foreach loop container into the control flow task. Right click and modify the Foreach loop container, go to the collection. So from the enumerator select the item enumerator. Okay, and now we need to create the columns here. So just click on columns and just click one column, because we are going to create loop through a single column. So column 0 got created of data type string, so click OK. Now put all your static values here, those you want to loop through, like Jan, Feb, March, March, April, May and June. Okay, so we have created 6 values here, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and our Foreach loop container will loop through all these 6 values. And then go to the variable mappings, and you can put your month SSIS variable here. So every time the loop will iterate through these values Jan, Feb, so the values of the month will be overwritten by these values Jan, Feb, okay, March. So click OK. So we have configured our Foreach loop item enumerator. And now to create the folder, now drag and drop the file system task into the Foreach loop container. So the file system task will be creating the new directories inside our parent folder. So maybe you can name it as create create directory, and then just modify the file system task to create a directory. So first of all, change the operation from copy file to create directory, as it is going to create a directory, and then modify the value use directory if exists from false to true, so it won't create a directory if it already exists. And inside the is source path variable, change from false to true, because the location of the folder will be placed in a SSIS variable, and then name the source variable as folder path. Folder path will actually contain the location of the folder that we are going to create. Click OK. And now we need to set the values for the folder path, because right now the folder path value is static, it won't change if you run the package right now. So we need to make the folder path value dynamics. Okay, so click on the expressions. We need to set the values dynamically here. So just drag and drop the parent folder path, and then after it is as we are going to get the value of the current year, so you need to write like year. You need to use the year function and get it, so it will get the current year. But as we are writing it inside the expression, so we need to convert it to the string type, and then double quotes plus the value of the current month. Okay, so if you evaluate this expression, so it will contain the current year and the value from the month. So right now the value in the month is Jan 1, but when the SSIS package will run, it will have values like 2017 Jan, 2017 Feb, and March, April, so on. So click OK. So we have configured our SSIS package successfully, and if you go to the C files folder, so right now we doesn't have more than one folder here. So let's execute the SSIS package, and it should create 6 folders there: 2017 Jan, Feb, and so on. Okay, so the SSIS package got completed, and it created folders like Jan, Feb, March. Okay, so this is how we can loop through a particular static values inside a for each loop item enumerator. So instead of these values Jan, Feb, you can put your own values. Maybe you can put someone's name, or anything. In case you don't want to use the SQL server or files to get the values from, so you can put your static values here, and then you can loop through through those values. So thanks guys for watching the video, and if you like the video, then please click the like button and do subscribe to our channel to see more videos on SSIS. Thank you.